Hey guys, Mike here. So another jam-packed video for you, and this is definitely a jam-packed video. So I'll try to get through as quick as possible and stuff, but we will go over what to be expecting over the next couple of months here. Something I bet you did not know because as you've seen, and I've showed it to you, breadth expanding into other stocks, probably stocks you own that have been taken off that aren't part of the Mag 7 and the Mag 10 or whatever you want to call them. And then also, I told you, get ready to dig into your pocketbooks for something else because one of your bills is going to start to go up if this breaks out. Okay, and so we'll go into that, and we'll also hit some stocks that were actually did pretty good today, believe it or not, even though the markets end up red for the day. And I got to start off with this right here, though. Can anybody tell me what this is? Just please tell me. Put in the comments, say what in the world went from $2,000 to $10,000 in roughly, looks like about a year and 4 months there. Wish I would have owned it. And so I think you've had enough time to answer now. Pause and put in the comments. But believe it or not, this is not Bitcoin. This is not some kind of low float stock or a penny stock. This is cocoa. Cocoa. Stuff that goes in your chocolate bars and stuff, which I'm a chocolate fiend. So I guess I really should have invested in cocoa, right? I mean, look at this. It has done nothing for years. And then, boom, through the roof. Isn't that amazing? I mean, again, what I keep saying, I need to get a t-shirt, prints this out, year first, right? Year first. I mean, just amazing. Now, what do we got going on here? Here's where we're at now. Fixing to go into April, right? We are wrapping up March. As you can see, if you look at the lines to the left right there, sitting presidents running, you can see the black line, sitting presidents running X 2020, because that was a crazy year. You can see actually go basically flat or across. So it just gets range bound till June, and then things should start to take off, whether you're looking at the black line, whether you're looking at, I think that's blue, I'm colorblind, but I think that is blue. And so we'll see, because again, seasonality is not followed. You see seasonality to the left. You see things either going sideways or tanking, right? And you do not see that right now. The S&P keeps, kind of range bound right now, but it just keeps going up and up, it seems. So this is what we got to look for. We could go into a range bound territory, or we, could obviously just keep going up and keeps charging on up or whatever. But I'll tell you some things that are happening here, which is kind of crazy. This right here, as I told members last night, S&P 500 streaks without a 2% decline from a closing high from 1953 to today. It don't happen very often, but when it does, right, things go pretty well. And I mean, just look at that. That's many years, and you don't see it get above that line very often. We just reached the line. So it has been quite a while, 100 trading days. And so are we due for one? You would think we are definitely due for one at some point in time here. Well, it's even nuttier with all this breadth, with all these stocks going above a 200 moving average and stuff. You still have, right, 3 stocks accounting for about 50% of the gains in the S&P 500. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about here so you can see it in detail. 5 stocks accounted for almost 60%. All right, that means out of the 462 points, basically you're looking at NVIDIA, Microsoft, Meta, Amazon, Eli, and Lilly there, accounting for a whole boatload. The top 10 stocks account for almost 70% of the gains. And to show you what I'm talking about, if you look at this right here, and guys, before we continue, please hit that like button. It really helps people find the video. And think about subscribing if you like a finance channel who does not try to talk over your head. This goes from January 1st till basically yesterday, okay? And so I'm going to zoom in at the bottom here so you can see the ticker and the weights and what the points they've actually achieved towards S&P 500. And if you see, you can see NVIDIA. I mean, I don't think anybody argues with that, right? Because, and remember, why is this? It's because of the weights, right? These stocks have bigger weights than all those other stocks, out there that are going above the 200 moving average. And you can see they've had such large gains. That is the points they've put towards that 462 points that the S&P has gained over these years right here. And again, you can just pause this, do the math yourself. There's some below. I'm not going to bother showing it because you just see these are the big ones, right? And you can see this in the flows, right? How many times have I showed you in the flows here? Well, they'll flow out of small caps, flow out of mid caps. And again, because we're coming into month end, sometimes you get window dressing, right? Which I'm going to address tomorrow. But sometimes you get window dressing. And so maybe you sell your losers. You go in and say, look at me. We own NVIDIA. We own this. We own that. Come into my ETF and all this other stuff, my fund. And so that could be happening. Obviously, they rolled in there last week about $3.5 billion. Rolled out of small and mid caps. These are the hedge funds and stuff. And so hopefully all that makes sense. But also pay close attention to this right here because it's going to affect your pocketbook. And that is XLE, and I'm going to show you why. Obviously, we're getting rejected here now. This is a big, big level, okay? We've been rejected multiple times. But I mean, I just did a whole members video on this today for the members. If it breaks, you could say big move up. Why does this matter? Because here's gasoline prices, national gasoline prices. This is 1 month behind, okay? It updates every month. And you can see it pretty much follows it. It's not exact, but if you look at that and you eyeball that, if XLE is going down, gas prices are going down. If it's going sideways, gas prices are going down. If it's going up, then gas prices are going up. You can see this thing just setting lower, higher and low, higher and low, higher and low, right? Into that flat top right there. And you can see, as it's been going back up to meet that resistance, gas prices have been going up. How do I know this in detail? Look right here. Here are gas prices, right? They're up 6% this year. And so XLE is not even broke out yet. So if it does break out, and normally with that chart pattern right there, you do usually get big breakouts if it's able to break through that, okay? It could always fail, no doubt. So be prepared for gas prices to go higher if this happens, okay? Now, a little different here. How I'm going to do this chart. I'm kind of working on this and trying to get better at this. But when it comes to, like order blocks, breakers, this kind of stuff, really working hard on this in my spare time and stuff, which I don't have a lot. But, when you see NQ, this is the futures, right? What happened today? Obviously, you can see this little area. What's happening? Right, you got this. Usually it's a 1 hour order block, but I put 4 hour in here because I went a little farther back. But you can know there's an order block there because what's happened? A bearish order block. Because every time it comes in there, it sells off. Right now, it's coming down into what? A daily fair value gap. Okay, and so when we come over here to the 4 hour, you can see what I'm talking. I'm gonna put this on a 4 hour, but you can see when it comes down into the fair value gap, which is an imbalance between buyers and sellers, or on what they are, they'll change your life. You can see what happens. It has a positive reaction. That is normal, right? If it would have been a red fair value gap, obviously we'd have been coming up into it. We probably would have sold down. Now, understand, you can see there's 2 reactions now. That's what we're reacting now. So will we end up moving up tomorrow? That's what we got to find out. But understand, when you look at this, and one little hint about this, if you ever come into, I don't care what time frame it's on, a fair value gap, an imbalance between buyers and sellers, okay, this is what algos hunt out all the time. If you see this, and what happens is it cuts through it like a hot knife through butter. It doesn't even have any reaction off of it. The continuation, whichever direction it's going, is going to continue. That direction will continue most likely because it had no respect for it. Okay, so remember that about fair value gaps. And the larger the time frame, the better. The more they should respect it. You can see it respected it twice now. And so just want to put that out there to you. So until we break through that order block right there, then obviously that's a problem, okay? Don't expect any more upside until we do. And obviously form a breaker. Now, if you look at the fibs, you can see when you get down these fair value gaps, you're wondering about how far they go, pull your fibs up and stuff. You can get between 50 and 60 in the golden pocket area. It's usually when people will step in and start buying. Now, and you can see right here on the smaller time frame, we go down, we're having this reaction at the end of the day. Is that going to continue? We're going to find out. Now, I don't know what happened to semis. I tried to find the news on this. It happened at different times. ARM just took a huge dump, dropped 7% at 11:30. AMD, it was like 12:30. So it wasn't a news event, I don't think, because it was different times. NVIDIA was like 2 o'clock, just took a dump, right? All turned red. And so, where's the money going? I think it's going to Micron, right? I think this is what big money loves to do. It gets the momentum. This thing pushed through a long-term resistance line, right? And gapped up on the earnings and all that good stuff. And so now that's happened. It's at all-time highs, no resistance above it. That sound familiar? AMD, NVIDIA, all these other ones, ARM, right? And so they just keep rotating into these. And you can see how high can it go? I mean, look at that trend line right there, right? Why not? Why can't you go up and get a fourth touch right there around 163? Could that happen? I mean, it's moving, right? So there you go. And where's your bottom floor? You can draw another trend line and say, yep, this is a rising wedge right here. Okay, we'll just keep going and moving on, and it's getting tight. So we'll see if they keep pushing it up or not. Again, I think that's where the money's going. Let me know what you think down there in the comments as I screw that line up. Now, Tesla had a good day, right? Had news about Elon putting out this self-driving stuff to people, and they can test it free, and everybody said, woo, and it jumped huge, right? Went probably to 184, big move, one of the biggest moves it's had in a while, it seems like, right? And then completely sold off, and you notice, we talked about this yesterday, I believe, or Sunday, those weekly, expected moves. It got way above it, right? And then now it closed within it. Do I expect this to close within it this week? Probably not, just because of the way the move is going. But again, you get too far stretched outside of that, might expect a pullback. Now, especially on a news event. Palantir, we expect to move back up. Like I said yesterday, why? Because maybe it's completing the head and shoulders, coming up and rounding out a right shoulder, maybe. Okay, if it does, obviously, that's what we're expecting. So if it gets above this level right here, 24.98ish, somewhere in there, then we can negate this. So never mind, not happening. There it is. Oh well, right? But if it doesn't, and you start to see this start to sell back down and stuff and break that neckline, then you're looking anywhere, like I said, from $19, $20. That puts you in the discount range when you use your fibs and stuff. And then maybe we get a move up, which is, to me, a lot of people think that's bearish or whatever, and it could be. But again, close the gap, get rid of some daily fair value gaps, all that good stuff, mitigate those. And then you see momentum come in, that can happen and stuff. I'm not an LA wave guy. I know people that I follow, they're LA wave guys and stuff. And they're like, it hadn't completed wave 5 yet, and it's going to be on wave 5 and all this stuff. Maybe that's what's happening. We'll have to see. Now, when it comes to earnings, tomorrow, some you actually will recognize. Carnival Cruise Line, Cintas, Paycheck. You'll have Rumble, RH right there is another one. You have some other kind of retail stocks and things like that happening, mostly small caps, I believe. Then when it comes to economic data, again, we've had a boatload of this, a lot of mortgage data, a lot of oil data is going to come out. Then you have a couple bill auctions happening in the afternoon, and that's all she wrote. So as you can see, we have definitely had some volatile days, right, where it's just kind of, you're just dead in the water. It's boring. It's not really moving. Maybe you get a gap up in the morning, it trades sideways, and all of a sudden, boom, you get the sell-offs, right, at the end of the day. It's kind of how we're doing it. And I'll say this right here. Look, if those who are with me, when they talk about window dressing, it's all BS. Let me just be very clear about that. And the reason why there's no consistency, whether stocks go up at the end of the quarter or down at the end of the quarter, I've looked at the last 10 years. I've looked at the guys who have done this before, right? And there is none. The reason why is because this helicopter flies over my house. Because, sorry about that, when we come to the end of the quarter, what somebody's got to do, yeah, you'll get sometimes where it goes up because they're buying, right? Certain stocks, especially heavyweight stocks, and all of a sudden the market goes up. But then you'll also get those quarters where they're like, dump a bunch of these stocks, dump my losers, man. I got to make this thing look good when we do this end of quarter report here. So those dump all the losers, so you get a lot of selling pressure, right, coming down. And so that's where you got to obviously, make sense of it. But you can go back yourself and look. I'm telling you, there's no rhyme or reason to it. I'm just telling you right now. If you find anything different, let me know. But I've seen back test after back test and read study after study and looked at the charts myself. Trust me, I wish there was, but not really. And so anyway, hope you guys got something out of it. Let me know. And by the way, if you're an expert on order blocks and breakers and all that stuff, or you recommend somebody, put them in the comments. That's kind of my new hobby right now. And every little waking moment I got that I'm not with my family or on this channel or in the Discord or anywhere else, I'm looking at that stuff, trying to figure it out. I think I'm just too analytical for it. That's what my problem is. But, anyway, hope you guys got something out of it. Hit the like and subscribe button if you did. Appreciate all you guys who watch. Appreciate all you guys who sign up for the membership and stuff. Again, only $7.99. Cheaper than McDonald's combo. And anyway, have a good one, guys.